Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Swinging at Chins. I am joined by my partner in crime, Aaron Slater. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Rhett. I almost said Brian for a moment because it's been.
Oh, yeah, I don't know
Uh,
what it's like to be in this seat. If we're looking good, it's because Brian's not here. All right. I want to put that out for everybody. We're doing our own thing, but we need his help.
Yep.
All right. So, usually this is going to be a Premier League podcast, but as fate would have it, the World Cup is starting on Sunday. So, welcome to the special World Cup edition of Swinging at Chins. We're starting off with a special edition. It's good. For our full bracket predictions, make sure that you watch our show on Wicked Good Sports coming out later this week. But for now, we are going to get into the groups. This is going to be an in-depth group discussion. We're going to go group by group, team by team on this one. So, Aaron, Group A, here we go. What are your thoughts? Let's start off with Senegal. I want to start off with Senegal.
Okay. Well, I guess we're starting off with Senegal. I think they can be a healthy and lethal team. Their attack obviously is pretty pivotal on Sadio Mane, and if the witch doctors were able to heal him well,
I was gonna say you let off with healthy. I don't know about healthy.
Well, he's the only one that isn't that we know of healthy.
I mean, that's fair. That's definitely fair. That's kind of like saying that, I don't know, Tom Brady's the only one who's not healthy for the Buccaneers this week. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about Senegal.
I'm not. I think they'll make it.
I guess what I should say is I'm worried about Senegal after the group stages.
Well, okay, fine, because it's obviously going to be Senegal and Netherlands, not in order, but
Yeah, Group A is a pretty weak group.
It's a fluff group.
It's not great at all. Moving on from Group A, let's move on to the host nation, Qatar, who is here simply because they're the host nation. Tell me, what do you know about Qatar?
They're going to get their buns slapped. That's what's going to happen. I know.
They have the Aspire Academy.
And they're going to get their buns slapped too.
Yeah, but they paid Maradona and Pele to be there when they cut the ribbon. You don't think that counts for anything?
A nice pat on the back.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a lot of people are making it out that Felix Sanchez, who is a La Masia Academy coach, is going to be able to do something with this team. I think that's posturing. It doesn't matter. You could have the greatest coach in the world. I mean, you get Alex Ferguson down there. It's not going to matter. They do not have the team, I don't think.
No. They're going to do what a lot of those kind of types of teams where they don't have the potent attack or the movement, and they're just going to sit back, low block it, and hope for a counterattack, bait you in, and throw it up top, route one kind of stuff. Direct.
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, and I think that Felix Sanchez is going to understand all those words, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get across to his team how to play. No, and then you're at home, and everyone talks about the lift that at home can be, but what about the pressure? And the second they start getting beat, I mean, they're going to get beat by the Dutch. I think they played it out smart their first games against Ecuador. And yeah, I'm going to assume that they made it that way. They've made the World Cup happen, so why couldn't they make the group stages be what they did?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to score a goal. I was just about to say that. We're on the same page. I don't know if they score a goal.
I think there's 3 teams here that are in the World Cup that might not score a goal or win.
All right, I think Qatar's definitely one. Yeah. Yep. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to have a win. I think I have a couple teams that I think might get out of here without a win. Some might surprise you, but that's mostly where the group is. This is a very weak group, and I still don't think Qatar's going to get a win.
Yeah, I agree.
But moving on to who they're going to face, Ecuador.
I mean, this might be the only time where they might be able to score a goal. And I still think Ecuador is actually a decent – I say decent as in like a step up from Qatar. They have a few Premier League players that play on Brighton, actually.
They have Piero Hincapi for Bayer Leverkusen, too. He's a very young center back.
Yeah. There's some promise, honestly, with this Ecuador team.
They're fast. They're physical. Two things that always help you in a World Cup:
Goals,
physicality and speed. And I think that they might be in for a decent shout. I think if the witch doctors don't work and Senegal can't get their team together, I think Ecuador could be a good shot at second.
Ooh, that would be a fun. So you think they might be? Do you think they could be like Mexico 2018? Now
I'm talking about getting out of the group with these guys.
that
I'm
would
going to be
like
honest.
their version of Mexico 2018.
I was thinking more Costa. I mean, the thing for me is always Costa Rica in 2014, which we'll get to in a little bit. But the run they had, I don't think Ecuador has it. I think Ecuador has a better shot, but I don't think a better shot at getting out of the group than people give them credit for. But I don't think even if they do, they're going to do anything. Because onto the Netherlands, I think they're going to run away with the group.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be close. In fact, I think the Netherlands' biggest problem is that they're going to have 3 easy games.
Ooh, do you think they're going to fall asleep in the round of 16?
It could happen. It depends who they're coming. I mean, they're going to face the runner-up of Group B, which we're going to get into in a minute. But I think the runner-up of Group B is whoever wins the second spot, I think deserves it. And I think that they're going to be playing very well.
Yep.
And it could be an issue. So just to recap on Group A, I think we have it exactly how it's laid out in the group. Yeah. Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar, in that order, with 9 points between the Netherlands and Qatar.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our second group, Group B, England, USA, Wales, and Iran. We already talked about the USA. If you want to watch that, there is a over 30-minute discussion that Aaron, Brian, and I had on Wicked Good Sports on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to that channel. So for you, all I just want to ask is, for the USA, where do you think goals are going to come from?
Weston McKennie. I think it's really going to come down to Weston McKennie and Pulisic. Those are your two guys who are going to score your goals. It could be even 5-5. I think we could score 10 goals in this.
You think Weston McKennie is going to have 5 goals?
Yes.
Wow, I do not. I don't know if it's my problem with the way Juventus has been. I don't know if it's the fact that I would play him deeper than you would in midfield. I don't see him getting the goals. I would like to. I'd be happy to be wrong. I think that we're going to play probably Ferreira and Sargent up front, and I think that they're going to be the guys who score, and I think we're going to have a lot less than 10 goals because of that. That's not what I would pick. Again, we have a whole episode on this if you guys want to go watch it. But I think our goals are going to come from those guys, which could be problematic.
So I heard you say Sargent is going to start up top, so you wouldn't think Gio's going to start over Sargent?
I think Sargent's going to start in the middle. I think Gio's going to start in the wing.
Fair enough.
Moving on to who the U.S. plays on Monday. It's getting close. Wales. What are your thoughts on Wales?
My thoughts on Wales. I think that they are an okay team. I think a lot of people, for some reason, think that they're going to get out of this group into the knockout stages. I don't see it, but maybe I'm biased. But I guess it could happen if they are able to use their speed with Bale, Dan James, and Harry Wilson. And if they're going to be able to counter and move past that back line, I think they're going to get their goals through there.
I think Kiefer Moore is worth bringing up as well. He's got 8 goals for Bournemouth.
Right. I don't disagree with that. He's a big, tall lad.
4 goals for Bournemouth through 8 games. I think they have a pretty good starting 11. I do. They don't have depth. If they get a knock or two, I think it's going to be a problem. And if Gareth Bale gets injured early on, or plays too much golf early on, or does anything that he does, I think that they're going to have issues.
Oh, well, yeah, because he's their number 1 player. He's the most iconic Welsh man.
I mean, you're forgetting Aaron Ramsey, but that's fine.
Well, he no.
No.
So
Okay.
most talked about. Fine. If you want to go that route, he's the most talked about.
Fine. All right, on to Iran.
Iran's gonna run home after they get swamped in this group. There's that might be another team I don't see that picks up a point.
See, I don't.
I think they'll score a goal. I don't think they'll pick up points.
I think they're going to score goals. I think Mehdi Taremi, who's playing for Porto right now, he's scoring goals left and right. I think he's going to score. I think Iran has a very good attack. They have a very good defense. They're very disciplined. Their problem is their midfield. Their midfield's incredibly weak. And I think that's one of the reasons why the USA is going to match up very well against them. But I could totally see a 0-0 or 1-1 draw with Wales.
I think Wales might be able to. I think Wales is a better team than Iran.
I mean, on paper, absolutely. On paper, 1-1 with the three other teams in this group. I don't think Iran should win any of them. But this is the World Cup, and anything can happen. They're going to be pretty close to home.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
However, home is not necessarily a place they want to be right now. Not to get into politics, but we're not going to pretend that there's nothing going on. And that can galvanize a team and make them all work together, and that can absolutely tear a team apart. And I don't know which side Iran's going to be yet.
Me neither, but I guess we'll find out. And well, that's not true. I did say that I don't think they'll pick up points, so that's where I sit with that.
I'm gonna say where it is.
Yeah.
Again, no USA homerism in this group, not at all.
No, not at all.
All right, so the last one in the group, England, easy winners, easy favorites.
They seem to be, and I don't see why not. They've got their number 9 that everybody loves talking about. They got Harry Kane.
He looks tired.
Who was it? Conte had said he's really tired.
And I'm going to play him anyway.
Yeah. Because, whatever. I guess he's...
Well, that's the Conte. I don't know.
Well...
He's probably going to get penalties.
Always. So
he's always going to score off of that.
Yep.
My biggest thing is, will the defense be good enough? Chilwell's out. Kyle Walker's out for the first game.
Is he
at
now?
Least.
Well, that's
Ben
one of the
White should probably get the right back role, but Gareth Southgate seems to have just learned what his name was, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Harry Maguire's still in the squad for reasons unknown.
Dreadful.
I'm really worried. I'm really, really worried about their defense.
I don't blame it. John Stones has lapses too if he plays with. Could you imagine? They just run into each other because they literally run into each other, but they might get into each other's way.
The only reason why they wouldn't is because Harry Maguire won't be fast enough. I mean, that Aston Villa match against during the EFL Cup, he looked like a geriatric.
Oh,
he looked like a man. He had no feet under him. No. All that to be said, on paper, incredibly strong squad.
Yeah.
I think
without a left
Saka,
back.
I think Kane, I hear Sterling. I mean, you hear those names, that sounds like goals to me.
Yeah.
To say nothing of what their midfield looks like. I mean, we haven't even talked about Foden. We haven't talked about Bellingham. We haven't talked about any of these guys. They're a very, very, very good squad.
Yep.
I don't know. We're all used to England failing us, and I think it's going to be the defense.
Yeah, I agree. They couldn't. I know there is talks where they're going to do a 5 in the back or 5 in the midfield, 3 in the back sort of deal. And if they do that, it'll at least allow Bellingham to push up or Declan Rice, whoever they decide to play in that midfield. But it also allows for more mistakes with Harry Maguire and John Stones. And
if they do something a lot like what Arsenal's doing with Partey, where you keep Declan Rice back and then you use him as your pivot man to distribute the ball forward, I think that they could be very good. But the problem is England's injured defensive line right now, I don't think holds up to Arsenal's. So, we get away with that because William Saliba is incredibly fast and strong and young and tall and all those wonderful things, right? They don't have that right now.
Nah.
So I don't necessarily know what they do. You're picking goal, Pickford or Ramsdale?
I hate both of those, but I go with Ramsdale.
You got a weird thing about goalies. I go with Ramsdale too. I'm pretty sure Southgate is going to go with Pickford.
Pickford, yeah. He's going to go with T-Rex arms, but
yeah,
whatever.
Probably. All right. So that is it for Group B. Sorry, I'll pull it back up. You and I are hoping that it's going to go exactly the way it's labeled here. England, USA, Wales, Iran. My gut tells me England wins, and it's a 3-way race for the second spot.
Yeah.
And
I think 4 points. 4 points is going to be critical.
We're going to learn. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot on that first game on Monday. Yep. If the USA can beat Wales, then all they need is a result against Iran.
It's going to be huge. Yeah.
Agreed. And if we beat Iran as well, that's 6 points. England will have 9, 6, 3, and 0 will probably how this goes out. Could be 9, 6, 1, and 1, and then we're done. It could very easily be that.
Do you think it'll come down to goal differential? Do you think that this group is going to come down to goal differential?
I don't think this group is going to, only because any of these 3 remaining teams could not show up. And if one of the teams doesn't show up, that's where you lose your goal differential because everyone just beats up on that one team, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, if the USA and Wales draw, England beats both of them and Iran, and USA and Wales also both beat Iran, then yes, it could come down to who loses the least to England or who beats Iran the most.
Yep.
I don't see a draw, though, between USA and Wales.
No.
So my gut says no, but it's definitely something to look out for. It could easily happen.
Yep.
All right, so that's it for Group B. On to Group C. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Let's jump into Saudi Arabia. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. My thoughts are it's going to happen exactly like 2018. They are going to get swamped and overrun. It's nice that they're here for 2 years in a row. Honestly, that's a good accomplishment. That's a great accomplishment. But that's pretty much all they're going to get. It's going to be a nice accomplishment for the country and the clubs and players that are represented. So,
so they're a border state to Qatar, which means that they're going to have a ton of fans. It's going to be real easy to get in and out of the country. I don't know where they score goals. This is my other group where I right now don't know if I don't think they're going to win a match. I don't know if they're going to score. They're scoreless in 6 of their last 7. And the one that they did score against was in Iceland at home. Yes, I love the Iceland story, but they're not actually that good of a team. Mm-hmm. Saudi Arabia can't score against anybody. I mean, we made Japan look like world beaters. And 4 days later, we go to Saudi Arabia, and they looked as bad as we did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where any of it's coming from.
I think they're going to be one of those again. Low block, route one, pull you in, hopefully get a counter on that behind your defense there. All their goals are coming from a man's name I cannot pronounce.
I mean, again, you say all their goals.
Deswari. He scored 7 of their goals.
Yeah, over how long of a timeline?
Oh, it was over the African Asian Cup of Nations. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, should have been Asian Cup. Still, I don't know, man. I don't see where it's coming from.
I think the rest of the teams in this group will be smart enough to shut down that player and be able to handle them.
Moving on to the rest of the teams in the group, a team we know very well, Mexico.
Mexico. Oh, no. Actually, might be something we disagree on. So I think they're going to get through the group stages here.
Oh, no. You and I agree on that.
Oh.
Mexico always performs in the World Cup. And if nothing else, this is a quick aside, They have the best away jerseys possibly ever.
They were pretty cool. I'm
Oh,
so
they're
sad
amazing.
that United States decided to go with what they did.
We don't need to talk about that. That'll be an hour of you and I ranting. We might put that up as a bonus episode at some point. No, I think Mexico is going to be very good. They play a real high pressing 4-3-3. They're technical. Lozano of Napoli is just out of this world right now.
Yep.
I think they're going to do very, very well. And the problem, you look at who else is in this group. You have Saudi Arabia, we just talked about. We don't think they're even going to score. And you have Poland. And Poland is not a bad team, but Poland is a team that is very good in places.
Yep.
And Mexico, I think, is a more complete team.
I agree. I know a lot of people were complaining about their defense. No, I'm sorry. They're complaining about where the goals are going to come from because Raul Jimenez, who I think is going to be their starter, I mean, that seems pretty basic to me, hasn't been the same Raul he was when he got picked up that head injury, that devastating head injury. Which, I hope he does. I like him as a player. I think he's a good player, and I really hope that he's able to smash it out of the park in this stage.
I agree. I mean, I don't like playing Mexico in the CONCACAF.
Yep.
But I don't wish them any ill will. I look for them to do really, really well.
Yep.
Moving on to other group members, Poland. Last ride for Lewandowski and Szczesny.
Yep. Probably Glick too.
Probably. Do you see what shot do you think they have to get in second?
Goal differential.
Yeah.
I think it could. That would be their best bet is goal differential.
I can see that. Louis goes off in a game.
Yeah. Like Saudi Arabia. He could go off against I think that he could put in a couple goals against Mexico, but I think they could easily draw that game as well.
Well, and I think so. Nikola Zalewski, if I say his name correctly, he won the online poll for the Golden Boy.
Really,
he's playing really, really good for Roma. I know Mourinho loves him. It's not that they have a good goalie and a great striker, and that's it. They do have a midfield. I know how well Mexico can perform.
A lot of what I read, and T-Foil had mentioned to this too, was they're a very cross base team. They look to get those attacking fullbacks up, and they look to, throw the ball in, and hopefully Lewandowski latches on to something is kind of what it comes down to. They still have Milik. Milik's a really good player too. There's a chance for this team to score goals. But it's also Poland, and they don't really perform well in the big stages. They don't perform well in Europe or in Euros. They don't perform well in the last World Cup either. I don't know. It's tough.
I agree. On to a team that is performing well, Argentina. I think Argentina wins the group.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's worth talking about. I think they win the group with 9 points.
Yep.
I think. All right, so we're going to get into this in our other episode. They're in a 35-game winning streak coming into the World Cup.
I saw that. That's crazy.
That's a lot of wins, and it's not like they haven't been playing anybody. They beat Brazil in Brazil for the Copa America in 2021.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into this more in depth, but do you think Messi finally gets one?
Oh, God. That would be the coolest thing as a fan to see.
It would. Do you think he does it?
My money says so.
I
think so. It's like one of those things. It's like seeing Ovechkin win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
I was so nice to see that. He's such a class act kind of guy.
No, absolutely not. I don't want to hear any of that. Anyway, I think that they have a very, very good shot. I give them the highest chance. We talked about this. We'll talk about it again in our other one. I think them and another team, they're going to meet in the playoffs and the bracket side. I think whichever team wins that match wins the World Cup.
Yep.
But if you want to learn more about that or hear about that, make sure you look out for the episode coming up later. Done with Group C. On to Group D. France, Denmark, Tunisia, and Australia. Tunisia. How you feel about Tunisia?
Tunisia, they were in the 2018 as well, weren't they?
They were. They've actually been to 6 World Cups in their history.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's nice for them to be 2 times in a row as well.
As you can see with the ticker, they have never qualified out of the group stages.
Yeah, that's how I feel that too.
Yeah. Lack of goal scoring, good midfield. Skahiri, if I'm saying his name correctly, playing very well for Cologne. But again, this is a good group.
Yeah, this actually, not true. I wouldn't say this would be a group of death.
No, this is not the group of death,
on,
but it's a good one.
This is a good group.
And I think that Tunisia gets out of some other groups. I don't think they get out of this one.
No.
Speaking of a team that I don't think gets out of any group, how do we feel about Australia?
You summed it right up. I don't need to say anything more. It's sad because Australia is one of those teams who you're used to seeing over and over again. But they just don't have their best player is a goalkeeper, and you can only do so much with the goalkeeper.
On top of that, they're injured. Half of their starting 11 is out.
Ouch.
Including their starting center backs, Sutar and Rolls. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. They've both been out long term.
Oh.
They don't have a good team with depth, and they're injured on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, like the ticker says, 6 straight World Cup, and I don't expect them to do anything this time either.
No. Australia might be that other team.
Australia, I think, will be another team. We're almost to the surprising team that I don't think is going to do anything. But Australia, if Australia goes winless, I will not be surprised. I'll be a little sad, but I will not be surprised.
Yeah.
On to a team that I think is going to do well, Denmark.
I agree. Denmark is. When I did my first bracket, thought Tunisia was a little better, and I gave them a way more credit than I thought they did, than I should have. But seeing Denmark's actual team and how they're going to line up, they're definitely going to get out of this group.
It's easy. It's easy to forget about the Danes, but the Danes are really good. Danes have recent history in beating France too.
So I think Kasper Schmeichel is one of those people who do not perform well for club, but performs extremely well for their country. He'll show for sure. I think he'll probably be his last World Cup. But yeah, I mean, you got Eriksson up top with Kasper Dahlberg, and then you still have Damsgaard, who's not quite fit, not up to speed, I should say. He has been injured with Brentford, but he, could be a difference maker. He was one in the Euros when Eriksson went down with that heart injury condition.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think in the World Cup, you got to look at class more than form.
Yeah.
A very smart writer who gets paid to talk about this, unlike me at The Athletic, brought that up. And I haven't been able to get it out of my head since I read it because it's the truth. It's really about class. Who are the class, who performs well in these moments historically. They're going to do it again for the World Cup. Yep. And Denmark is one of those. In fact, Denmark is probably my dark horse upset for a group if I have one. And that's mostly because I have no idea what to think about France. On paper, they're incredibly good.
Yeah. It comes down to the championship hangover for me.
And
that's what it really comes to.
And witch doctors and transfer demands and everything else that's going on. I mean, they are so primed for that French disastrous group stage knockout that they've done in the past.
Yeah, I guess. Especially there was a big player that's out too. But they still have
Pogba's out, Nkunku's out, Kante's out. They're going to hurt in the midfield a bit. they're still going to be France. Don't get me wrong, but they're not going to be as good as they could in the midfield. I will be interested to see who they play in defense. I think Saliba could be good enough. Again, this is my Arsenal showing. And then I also want to know who they play up top and will they play well together. Antoine Griezmann has a hell of an ego. This whole transfer saga with Atletico Madrid and Barcelona.
Well,
He exposed himself. Kylian Mbappe does the exact same thing.
Well, that's true.
It's, you got Giroud, who's going to try for the goal scoring record for France. And quite frankly, I think she is deserving of the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing really good for AC Milan right now.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, on paper, they should run away with this. They should do really well.
Yeah, I think I get the appeal of France could bomb. I just don't. They still have Rebot. They still have Veratu.
Look at who Germany had in 2018.
They have.
Look at who Spain had in 2014.
Well, again, that's why I said if it comes down to anything, it's one of those, championship hangovers. That's how this happens.
Well,
they're still getting out of the group, but I guess they won't get out of the group on top.
Maybe. Speaking of Spain and Germany, we're on a Group E.
Ooh.
Potential dark horse Costa Rica.
For who?
For Group E. I mean, I could not easily, but I would not be surprised if they get out above either Spain or Germany. I think, first of all, this is my group of death. This group is really strong.
Yeah. I agree.
But secondly, I'm not going to sit on Costa Rica. Their counterattack team with speed. They've gone on this before. 2014, they beat Uruguay, they beat Italy, they drew England, they beat Greece. They only lost to the Netherlands in the quarterfinal on penalties. Keylor Navas is probably the goalkeeper of his generation.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a Spain team that may struggle to score goals. You're going to have a German team who may struggle to score goals.
That one's accurate too.
And now you're going to have a Japanese team that, I mean, I don't know if.
I think so. If you're pulling dark horse, I think Japan is going to be the dark horse.
See, Japan's my team to not do anything. Japan's my surprise not do anything team. And it's not because I don't think that they're good. I think Japan's a very good team. That's why I think it's a surprise. I think Japan's problem is just this group.
That could be the thing for Costa Rica too. But it does help having a world-class goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's not quite hockey. In hockey, a good goalkeeper you can ride to the end of time. In soccer, you still need the rest of the team. Yeah. But Costa Rica's done it before. And Japan really hasn't. And that's why I think Japan may get caught out in this World Cup, because it's just, this group is amazing.
I guess there's still some. I just think Japan could be the dark horse instead of Costa Rica. I actually forgot that Costa Rica did so well last time.
That was technically 2 times ago.
Yeah,
but still,
feels like the last 2 years it felt like 7, but no point.
You don't have to tell me.
But
I mean, Japan has Daichi Kamada, Takahiro Tomiyasu, Junya Aito. They are a very strong team. They're a very good team. They also have killer jerseys for whatever good jerseys do.
Makes you feel good.
But I don't know.
I also think they could be like a well-structured team as well. Structured as in, like,
disciplined.
Disciplined.
They're not going to get caught out too much. I could totally see that. Now, who they're going up against? Germany. Germany, talk about a wealth of midfielders.
No kidding.
and absolutely no one to give the ball to in the box.
Yep.
Kai Havertz has shown flashes in the pan at Chelsea
Yep.
of being very good at that kind of thing. However, I still don't know if I trust him.
There's still Makoko. Yusuf Makoko, he's very pacey.
Yep.
I think that he's definitely. I think he'll be more of a sub than he would be over Havertz anyway, or Gnabry. I think Gnabry might play outside.
That's usually what he will do. I think Gnabry's going to get him goals.
Yeah.
I think Germany has a good shot at getting out of the group. Obviously, I think they have a good shot at winning the group.
Yep.
But it's going to depend on who actually comes up. So, and speaking of that, we have Spain, who I think is actually going to do very well in this tournament. I like Luis Enrique a lot. I think he's going to bring Spain back to the promised land. They're back to playing the type of soccer that they know how to play. In the 2022-23 Nations League, they had most passes attempted, most successful passes, highest pass accuracy. They're going to control the ball. They're not going to let you touch it. Their biggest problem is the same problem as Germany. Okay, that's great. We got the ball in the box. Now, what the hell do we do with it?
I also how do you feel about their goalkeepers? Robert Sanchez, David Raya, and
not great.
That's not how great. I feel too.
I'm a little worried about Aymeric Laporte as well in defense.
Yeah. Carvajal being ancient. Ashton Niqueta picked up an injury. Calf. So he's working with a calf injury.
Yeah.
Eric Garcia is young and he's, experienced.
I don't know if youth is a problem, especially when you have a coach like Enrique.
Well, he's also plays in Barcelona, like Garcia. So, I mean, it's not like he's not having a good coach.
Yeah.
But their midfield is stacked as well. I think they'll be fine with that. But as you said, goals. Who scores them? Do you think Alvaro Morata is going to actually show up for any type of tournament ever?
I have no faith in Alvaro Morata.
I've never seen Ferran Torres do anything.
Fun fact, he actually holds a record for most money in transfers, I think. Yeah, because he gets handed around all the big teams all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that's what happens when you get transferred all the time. So.
Yeah, I agree. They do not have a very good way of scoring goals here.
I trust their way of scoring goals more than I trust Germany's right now, though. Unless Gnabry just takes the ball and goes off, which he can do.
Yeah, we've seen that before. I think there's also a chance Muller's like, I'm going to be vintage Muller and, score as a center.
Timo Werner is worth mentioning as well. They have good players.
Well, that depends how close he is to the box.
True.
If he's 6 feet and closer, he can score.
All right. Moving on to the next group. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
Yes, sir.
I know what you're going to think about the top of this group, but let's start with Canada.
Okay. I think Canada also will get out of this group.
You do?
I do. I don't think Croatia's going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I leave you a little bit stunned?
I absolutely 100% think that you are a madman. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it will.
Canada's a good team. Canada topped the CONCACAF Hex. It's not a Hex anymore, is it? Whatever.
Octagon?
Alphonso Davies is great.
Yep.
I still think they're not going to get anywhere.
Well,
reason number one, Alphonso Davies is injured.
He's not injured.
He tore his hamstring.
Since
when? He missed the last 2 games.
He did not.
Yes, he did. Look it up. I don't know if he's going to get any playing time.
I just looked it up the other day. I was like, oh, okay, he's fine.
I mean, right here, ESPN. November 13th. Canada named Bayern Munich's Alphonso Davies in their squad for the World Cup on Sunday, putting to rest any doubts whether the injured fullback will be fit for the tournament.
Okay, but he says not a risk.
I
If you're going to play in the World
he's
Cup,
not
you're
going to
going
be
to
playing 100%.
fine.
So here's my other problem. You can see it on the ticker. Canada has risen 50 positions in the FIFA World Cup ranking over the last 4 years, and that is phenomenal. And oh my God, look at how good they're doing. They're still 41st. Are they a good team? Yeah, they're definitely better than they were. They're light years ahead of where they were.
Mm-hmm.
But they are not. They are not a good enough team to get out of this group.
I think that there's still. I think that they have a better ability to score goals than Germany does.
Okay.
They're coming from Jonathan David mostly, and
Yes,
possibly
but
Kyle
I don't know if they're going to actually get access to the goal. Definitely not as much as Germany will. All right, before we get into this,
I just see them play against the United States. They've played well against the United States.
We look
they
horrible
the most,
right now.
Stop it.
We do.
Stop it. And they scored the most goals in that octagon. They let in the least amount of goals during that octagon.
We were starting Aaron Long and Zimmerman.
Yeah, and that's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem.
Well, I'm just telling you that.
I'm not saying is Canada better than this group. I'm better than America. I'm saying can Canada get out of this group?
And I say yes.
Be comfortable third. Speaking of the fourth place team.
Hold on. If they don't make it out of this group, I will chug a bottle of maple syrup.
Okay, so hold on. If we have another bet that you guys will hear about in the episode later this week, where I have to buy you a jersey. And if for your dumb bet, I don't get anything. You just have to chug a bottle of maple syrup.
If I lose.
Well, yeah, but what do I get?
Then you have to chug a bottle of maple syrup.
No, I don't want to.
Then that's a good bet.
Okay, fine. You know what? This is what we'll do. It won't be a whole bottle of maple syrup because we're not crazy. Let's do 10 ounces.
Okay.
10 ounces of maple syrup. You drink it if they don't get out of the group, and I drink it if they do.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll do that. That sounds good.
Okay.
I mean, no, it doesn't. It sounds horrible. But whatever. Anyway, going on to the fourth place team in this group. Morocco.
Yeah.
And Hakim Ziyech carry an entire team.
Oh, you want me to answer that? I thought it was rhetorical.
Yes. No. What if you has Awani? He is very good. He's been playing great for Angiers in France. He's got the most amount of dribbles. I think he's going to show up. I think he's going to help. I think that it's not going to matter.
I agree.
All right. Moving on to a team that will definitely be getting out of this group, Croatia. I mean, Lavaha, Kovacic, Brozic, Modric, Ivan Perisic. This team is good. This team is strong. This team is coming off of a trip to the finals. I don't understand where you think that they're not going to get out. I'm very surprised by that.
It's more of one of those
gut feelings
and age. I don't know. I just don't think. Yeah, they got the experience, and they, I wouldn't be surprised if Croatia makes it through. I just think that Canada could squeak it out.
So here's my big thing with Croatia, and again, I understand there are 11 guys on a team. The only time that Luka Modric will not be the best player on the field will be when they face Belgium. Apart from that, Luka Modric is the best player on whatever soccer field he touches.
Yeah,
he is that good.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. I think he's an excellent player.
When you have the likes of Perisic and Kovacic and Brozovic and this new kid Lavaha, who is just doing amazing, I really think that you're going to do something. I would not be surprised to see a deep run out of these guys again. If they're in the semifinals again, I'm just going to, makes sense to me.
I don't disagree with it. I just, if they do it, it's fine.
Yeah. On to the team that I know you love. In fact, my notes for this team is let Aaron talk. Aaron, tell me about Belgium.
Belgium is a super squad. No, I don't actually think they're a super squad. I think they are a very good team. And I think they have a lot to prove, like every other year that they've had to prove. And I hope they can get the monkey off the back because, they've this whole entire golden age that they've had is taken a beating from everybody. They have really good goalkeepers in Courtois and backup goalkeepers with Castiles, and Mignolet. I think their problem is going to come down to their defense, unfortunately. Their center backs are either old or inexperienced with Faust and Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, and Munier. I do like Timothy Castagna. He's a good player, I think. He's a good guy who's work up and down the field. And I think he could. That's where we'll probably possibly see him. Dres Mertens made it. He's very experienced. He hit that nasty goal last year off the volley. Oh, that was filthy. And De Bruyne. That guy can do what he wants. He's a magician.
For anyone who is new to soccer, when I said that Luka Modric is the best player in any field that he's on, unless they play Belgium, I was alluding to Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, yeah.
He is the best soccer player in the world, I think, right now.
Yep.
What he can do with the soccer ball, his ability to see the entire field, his ability to free kick, his ability to finish.
Yep.
His ability to put a ball on a dime for a guy streaking through the box. He is Dirty. Absolutely fantastic. I really think that. My problem with the Belgians, and again, I think that they get out of the group. I think it's slightly better than a coin toss if they win the group. I think Croatia is going to be very close, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Tielemans is good. Witzel is worrying to me. Den Docker, Alderweireld, and Vertonghen. I am on the Guardian website right now looking at probable lineups. A back three of those three does not fill me with confidence.
Well, the Donka doesn't play. He's a midfielder.
Well, they're thinking that they're going to put him in the back.
Who'd you say this was?
The Guardian.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Dendonka started in the back for the Belgians before.
So he could have, but Villa plays him as a holding midfielder. So
De Bruyne and Lukaku, you're going to get goals.
If Lukaku is available, he's been injured too.
And now here's my other problem with hazards. Both of them.
They're hazardous.
Yeah, I don't think that they're. I think that what you said is exactly right. I think that the golden age is past. I think that they're just a little bit too far over the hill, and you have too many teams that are coming up.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I don't think they have a really good youth intake coming up either. We could see them slide off, unfortunately, but this is what it is. I guess if your country isn't able to, sustain getting players or, create good players, then it's what it comes down to. But I could see them getting knocked out in the round of 16, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure that I necessarily have them getting knocked out in the round of 16, but I could see it. Moving on to the next group, I think we're going to have some disagreements on this one as well. But Group G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. God, could you imagine 26 groups? Oof.
It'd be like the hockey playoffs, just 3 months of just playing.
Yeah, you're worried about crap now. Anywho, let's start with Serbia.
Serbia, they have a really tall lad in Alexander Mitrovic. He'll get his goals, I think. He's been playing extremely well this Premier League, so that they've got that going for them for Serbia.
He played fantastically in the championship last year too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
set the goal
well,
scoring record in the championship last year.
fantastic. Good to hear.
They've never
But
made it past the group stage.
I mean, they're not going to make it past this group stage either. But I think
Probably
that, and I don't even think they'll have. Nope. Nope.
Yep.
I don't think
All
they
right.
will.
All right, we're all done with them. Moving on to Switzerland.
Sounds good.
I think good team. Played well in Europe.
I was just looking at some other players that actually Serbia had. They have Valovic, Dusan Valovic. They've got Luka Jovic, Dusan Tadic. But their midfield is kind of Milinkovic Savic. It's not a bad squad.
Yeah.
I still don't think they'll get out, but it's not a bad squad. They got names.
I agree.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, moving on to Switzerland. For me, the number 2 in this group.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I could see the Swiss.
I know Shaqiri is getting older, but I think you still have a very good base of people in this group.
Yep.
I think Embolo, Vargas, obviously Granit Xhaka, leader of men. Fabian Schär is playing fantastically for Newcastle this season.
Yep.
I see them doing really well. Yeah. You have Ricardo Rodriguez from Torino.
I think it comes down to scoring goals for this team too. If they can get Brie Embolo is one of the fastest players recorded. I forgot what game they played, who it was. I think it might have been Germany, or I can't quite remember who it was, but he was recorded 5th and he ran fast. He was a fast boy.
Yeah. And again, like we've been talking about, speed can get you places in this World Cup.
Yep.
On to the next, Cameroon. Thoughts?
Cameroon. Probably 3rd. I don't know too much about Cameroon.
So for me, Cameroon, I think Cameroon's going to be last. Anguissa for Napoli is playing very well. And they have Inter Milan's goalkeeper, Andre Onana. And they have not won a World Cup game since 2002.
Yikes.
And they don't have a whole squad. And I think that's going to be their biggest problem.
Yeah.
I think they're 4th comfortably. I think Serbia is a better team. I think Switzerland gets 2nd. And if you don't have anything else to say, I'm just going to jump right into it.
I don't.
Brazil.
Hop into G.
I mean, Brazil.
What can we say about Brazil that hasn't been already said? That they're a very well-established team, and they have a plethora of everybody.
As long as they stay out of not even each other's way, but as long as the egos don't get too big.
I also think it comes down to who do you have starting for the goalkeeper for them? Becker or
Alisson.
Really?
Yes.
No, get out of here.
Not even a question.
Really?
Alisson okay. Becker, 100%.
Huh? Ederson?
No.
Yeah.
No, Alisson Becker has been the better goalkeeper for 3 years. Absolutely.
I don't think he's been that as good this year, and that might hinder his starts.
I think his distribution is amazing. I think he's great on the break. I think he's very good with set pieces, and I think he has a cooler head.
Jesus.
I do. I really do. Ederson's a very, very good goalkeeper, and hell of a backup. But Alisson's my starting goalkeeper without a doubt.
I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Like, you literally can't go wrong with this squad. You could just be like, I'm throwing out these players, and that's okay.
26 names, shuffle them, put them out. Make sure you're not too one-sided on defense or attack, and they're fine. It really feels that way. I mean, Thiago
made the squad.
Is still absolutely killer, and he's like 38 years old. The only thing with Brazil that I don't want to see is I don't want them playing too much over Richarlison. I think that Richarlison is one of those guys who looks like he's doing an awful lot, but he's not actually doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying play Jesus instead. I wouldn't be against that, but I'm not saying that he's the answer. I'm just saying that, you have guys that play very well, like Anthony and Neymar, and I just don't know if
Rafinha.
Richarlison needs all that game time.
I don't. I think he's going to be a bench guy. I would rather. I mean, I'm not being a homer for you with you, but I think Jesus is a better pressing fit than Richarlison. I
Well, and the
think
thing
that
that Jesus will do that Richarlison won't is Jesus does a fantastic job of winning the ball back high up the field.
that's what I'm saying.
He is so good defensively.
Yeah. Yep. And he's willing to go back and work on defense too if he has to. I think he's just a better team player than Richarlison. I think Richarlison's kind of a crybaby.
The only thing about this team that doesn't make any sense. How the hell is Danny Alves on this freaking team?
That's your weird one? I think it's Fred.
He can't get playtime in Mexico.
I think it's Fred. Fred's a weird one for me.
Yeah, but the thing is, people love Fred. I don't know why.
People love Fred because his name's freaking Fred.
Oh, and he is the McFred. He's one half of McFred and Man U.
Yeah.
I don't think he plays that much.
No.
You have Bruno Guimaraes, who's playing fantastically. Casemiro, Fabinho,
Bruno Guimaraes.
Paqueta, I think Vinicius Jr., Anthony, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Pedro. I don't know, man. This team is good. This team is stupid good.
I think it's going to be more about can their defense keep out the attacking players more so than can they score goals?
I think Marquinhos, Eder, Militao, they're going to be fine. I really do. I mean, this is the type of team. Also, how much is the other team going to have the ball? This is the type of team that Gabriel Martinelli probably won't even play.
Yeah.
That's how good they are that, hey, kid, stay on the bench, please. He
might actually be like a Cameroon.
He very well might, but he'll be the 70th minute guy.
I really think he's going to start for that game. Depends on when they play, and it also depends. I don't know when Brazil plays Cameroon, if it's the last game or if it's the first game.
All right. So in this, just so everyone can see, Arsenal jersey right here. Who are you taking off to make him fit? Vinicius Jr., Neymar, Anthony, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Richarlison, Pedro, and Gabriel Jesus. We know we don't like Richarlison and Pedro at Flamengo. Okay, fine. So that leaves Jesus, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Anthony, Neymar, and Vinicius Jr.
So I'm going to back this up with Brazil plays Cameroon in the final group game.
I'm not.
They're gonna beat Brazil.
It's the World Cup. We don't rotate in the World Cup.
Yes, you do.
No.
If you're Brazil, you can absolutely rotate.
I don't want it. No, because they have egos and it's gonna get in their heads.
Probably. I don't know.
I'm not saying you're wrong. That very well may be what happens. I'm not saying you're wrong, and that could be where he gets playing time. But I think we're saying the same thing. The only place that he does get playing time is against Cameroon when they already have the group. Sewn up.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the final group. Group H: Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. I have a feeling that you and I are going to disagree on this group. Let's start off with South Korea. What do you think?
South Korea is a fun little squad. They do have Batman on their team, and I mean that is Son.
Yep,
he does. He'll be playing. He's got the mask on. So
I give him credit. I'm throwing a little shade at him in the ticker, but he is a phenomenal player, and he just had orbital bone reconstruction surgery, and he's going to be in the World Cup because that's what it matters.
Yep. But I think this team's going to be fighting for the bottom. It's nice that they're there and good for them that they made it, but they're going to leak goals. I
think comfortable third.
You think comfortable third, huh?
And that's because Ghana right now is in a transition period that they are not ready to get out of.
Ooh. I was looking at
They're the
their
youngest team at this World Cup,
really. Yep, they are.
and
Sorry, I just
it is. They have won. Sorry to throw it up on the ticker. They've only won 2 of their last 12 against top 100 opponents in the FIFA rankings.
Yeah, have you seen their FIFA rankings? It's like their highest was 46, and after 2020, at the end of 2020, they just went whoop right down. They
Yep,
said,
I'm not very high on Ghana right now.
No,
I don't think that they're going to do that well.
No.
That being said, I'm not very high on Korea either.
No.
So,
those teams will beat up on each other.
Yeah, that'll probably be what happens.
You know, I actually wouldn't mind watching that game because that game might be more pressing, and we haven't really talked about the tactics or anything about in this. Well, how we think these tactics might play out in this World Cup, but I think a lot of teams are going to feel each other out. They're going to sit back on a low block, wait for a mistake, and counter press. I think there's only going to be like a handful of teams that will actively go out and try to counter press high, and I think Mexico is going to be one of them. I think, you know, maybe South Korea could be one of those teams.
If we're talking about teams like that, Argentina, Brazil, I think England should. I don't think they will. Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, and the USA, I think all should. Not will, but should.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say.
It's about quality.
Yep.
And I think that they have the better quality to grab the ball higher up the field, and that's where you need to hold it.
Agreed.
That being said, I agree with you. I think South Korea might be one of those teams that tries to play pressing like that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on because we are running a little long in this. Uruguay.
I think this is the last chance on the OK Corral that they go out and win something. Their team is one of the oldest teams that's up there with Belgium. They've got Diego Godin, who is pushing 35, 36. Suarez is 35. A lot of their midfield players are pushing north of 34.
Cavani, who is so old, I forgot he was still playing.
Yep. They could possibly get out of this group. I think if anything, it could be Uruguay doesn't make it out of this group and it'd be South Korea. But I'm not like, again, if this is the thing where if all players figure out that they can get behind their defensive line because they're slow and old.
Yeah, I still don't think it's going to happen in this group. I don't have Uruguay doing anything out of the group. But
no,
you know, you have Edison Cavani, you have Darwin Nunez, you have Luis Suarez, you have Federico Valverde, Lucas Torreira, Rodrigo Betancourt.
Who's
they're going to win games?
He's the most yellow carded South American in the Copa.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that stat out there because, you know, he could get.
He could. He absolutely could. I don't see them doing much. Man, I see them winning the group. I just don't see them getting out. Not winning the group. Excuse me. Let me reset.
Jesus,
I see them getting second, and I think second's going to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I do not see them doing anything out of the group, but I do not see them not getting out of this group either, only because South Korea and Ghana aren't that good.
Yeah, I agree.
And on to the team that I meant to say is going to win the group, Portugal.
Yeah, they'll win the group, I guess. Yeah,
they're a very good team.
Yes.
They're down a couple guys.
Yep.
However, between Bruno Fernandes and CR7 and
CR37,
he still scores, man.
Yes, he does if he's on the bench.
They're not going to play him on the bench.
Well, obviously not. They're not trying to shut him out.
Yeah. Okay, but we're not talking about. We will get back to the Premier League when the Premier League gets back to us. Until then, I mean, Bernardo Silva, João Mario,
Rafael Leo. He's scoring. He's been really good for AC Milan.
Yeah, he has. Ruben Neves and Wolves is always good. Ruben Neves, the only reason why people aren't talking about him right now is because the rest of the Wolves team is injured or shit.
Yeah.
If you fix those two things, he's back to being the player that everyone wanted him to be.
I'm so mad he's rotting there right now.
Yeah.
What I would, as a Villa fan, what I wouldn't kill to have his ability to hit set pieces, to hit free kicks, and to be able to ping the ball around. Oh my God, I would die for somebody like that. And dude just is able to hit like 25 yarders like it's nobody's business.
Yep. I think
so
Portugal's going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, and William Carvajal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we brought up, but yeah, great guy. We'll see what happens after. That is going to complete our group discussion of the World Cup. Pretty soon we're going to be recording our actual bracket predictions, where we're going to talk about who we think is going to do what in the tournament, the knockout phases, and who we think is going to win. But until then, I'm Brett Conaway, and he is Aaron Slater, and this has been Swinging at Shins.